Hello everybody, it's Major Bear here, and sadly I couldn't record this game here, so I have to do a replay out of it. I'm sorry for that. I'm playing with Jack and Ballsaws. Jack is playing American deck, I think it was Marines. Ballsaws is playing just plain American, and I'm playing Scandinavian Mechanized. We're here on Gunboat Diplomacy, I believe it's called. My job during this match is protect this bridge here and that bridge, so these two bridges over here, and control the sea and give fire support for them in Hotel, Delta and Foxtrot. Alright. So if you make a line from the farthest of these bridges here, that's my area of operation with my ground units. My main forces, and my job is to back them up and support them. So if they need infantry, I'll send it in. But Charles is my main area of operation, and we're meeting Gunner and Germany in Pretty Hill, I believe it's called. And they are gonna use artillery like a motherfucker. So let's fast forward a bit. Alright, then let's slow down about now. So I'm using mechanized forces to defend Charlie. I have 2 sea busters out. My first objective is to get some recon over here. I couldn't get that in the start because I wanted the sea busters out fast and have a lot of forces in Charling in case they try to push it. Right away they send a recon unit with a hind over the sea, but we're gonna ignore that and check what's happening here. They do the same thing on the right side. So instantly we meet quite heavy presence here. Yak has, they have the advantage on this map. We have to cross bridges. If they would have bombed this map, it would have been a big trouble. So he's using his loves for fire support, and he's sending in his used marines to take control of that town. We lost this area quite quickly because of this bridge, and they didn't really care to take this in the beginning because he knew that's gonna be a bad day. So the first thing they do is artillery us, napalm. Actually that was just normal. So we just have a couple of marines here, 20 man, 30 even. So I have now noticed his units right here, and I'm starting to think about what to do about them. He's now battling T-72s and T-55s, which is M1A1. And they use tactical air power to take it out, which they lose, unfortunately. So if you can see, what I've done is I placed these tanks here so I can both fire on that bridge and that bridge. And I have 80 gem unit here, reserve infantry here, anti-air here, anti-air there, and 80 gems there. And it's the same thing here. They can fire on this bridge right here, RBS group and RBS 90. So they beat back those T-72s, and now the fights for Delta has begun. So my recon helicopter has spotted it, that hind again. I'm falling back with it, calling out loads of AA. My sea busters are grouped up in 2 bushes here to cover this area. I don't want them to come up with a boat and destroy everything here. This here was a bad placement of Li Jian. Just saying that. Both, all of them are experienced. They have had a good win ratio, if that counts for anything for you. And they played well, except that I spammed the artillery all the time. So I'm falling back with my helicopter to try to find him. Right now I fear that he might go for my sea busters, so I start following them back. Speed up. Alright, those all anti-air pieces are gonna take care of that hind. They have dropped off Kampfskvima, something. Right there, gonna welcome me to our base. That's a good placement of that Humvee and that LVP there. Anyway, alright, so he's using his M60 A1 to shoot at those reserve shoots on. And that's a good position to keep it in. But he could move it up around here as well. Wouldn't really change anything. So there you come with more napalm. They really like napalm. This is a problem with Eugene. They don't really know what to do with the game sometimes, it feels. Because either they give you far too less of a unit or they give you far too much. So I'm sending up my SRF 90 40 to take care of that hind, but they don't get there in time, so they shoot down that hind. And just look at this. This is just ridiculous. So it gets one, and it's gonna get two anti-air pieces before it goes down. That's ridiculous. So there comes he comes in with another one. Balsos is counter chilling with his Ataxon. Right, so he's moving in a Humvee again, and he loses it because he moved up with the Mutschützen. Now he's battling with the T-72 Jaguar with the M60. That's not a wise choice. So as you can see, they're pushing from two sides with recon. I took care of the left side. Right side is still a problem. Right now we were debating whether I should get a CV for Charlie, and we decided I should get that, and then get out all my Bacans to support them in Delta Charlie. Delta and Hotel, I mean. So you can see they have one RM, two BM-24s right now, and they will get out far more, trust me on that part. And they're placing their CVs a bit meh. You know, it's like this CV here, that's a obvious position. They should put it like here or maybe there. This CV here is quite decent to place, however. So I have infantry moving here in case something survives from that area, and they're moving up their Kampfswehr, similar, right there. So you can see how little is holding the line over here. It's a small team. That's it. So the AWPs are amazing to check out infantry. What he should have done is pushed everything. He shouldn't have stopped in Delta. So he's abusing the amazing power of the TOW2 to take care of those Jaguars. So right now the enemy knows exactly what we're calling in and can think about what they should counter it with because of that recon. So as you can see, it's just amazing amount of rocket artillery going in here. It's ridiculous, and they get CV by it. I mean, that's how most players with high rating play nowadays. That's how they get it. They just abuse the amount of artillery in the game. That's why I recommend playing with people that have 60% or 50% to win ratio, because they don't use that as much, in my opinion and experiences. That's why I also recommend, if you can have cluster artillery, get it. If you can, if you're playing Eurocore, take 2 Marses, take them on train so you get loads of them, and just fire at something so you level them up. It's better to have wider area of effect than just a small area in one. You will take out far more with 2 or 3 of them. So let's continue. So as you can see, there's still not a lot of shit holding here or this town here. So by this time I decided I should probably get out more infantry there. But the problem is they keep sending shit here, so I have to focus on that as well. And I have had a feeling that they were gonna bring up navy soon to take care of this and use the amphibious landing around this shoreline. So just a few pointers for you know, base security of your main bases or zones, Juliet and India in this occasion, in this circumstances. English, fuck me. Leave sheep AA, like for example Igla, and a sheep infantry unit or 2 with APCs, and leave them, for example in Juliet I would leave some infantry here, AA around here, and the infantry in that building here, and keep the CV around here maybe. Because this is a big area they can flank from. This is not, especially when we have control of these bridges, this wood line. It's safe, completely safe. We will see anything coming from this area before. And this is a supply zone, you know, this is the main road, and we'll see anything trying to walk over there. No problem. That's just a quick pointer. So he's using his smalls to shoot at his reserve shooter. He's focus firing on them. So there comes the attackums. Not a prioritized target right there, but always something to relieve pressure. So I have 3 bacans firing for effect on this area right here in Muchutan. When you have bacans, you will block out the sun. It will eat supplies though, so if you can have it, have 2 fobs if you intend to use them a lot. And I never start artillery spamming like this unless the enemy does it first, you know, because I'm not a big fan of artillery. Oh, his US Marines are lucky that they didn't get killed there. So we're continuously using Ravens and Nighthawks to take out prioritized targets, and this is something you should never do. Look what he's did with his smalls here. Look how they just dropped like beats. Now he's getting fired from 2 positions, directions, there and there. That's gonna just mess him up. If you're gonna attack an area like this, you want to have infantry there and there. Alright. If not, you need to have a fire support team here, like AJS-17. Alright. So I'm not pushing or anything, I'm just focus firing with my bacans. And he's using his attackams. So as you can see, the enemy uses a lot of rocket artillery. Which is not really, you know, a gentleman thing to do. You gotta put in a snuff. There we go. As you can see, if they would, you know, do something smart, is that they would do 2 attacks at 2 areas at the same time. Because right now I can focus firing my artillery here, and Jack and Bolt can focus their air power and the ground forces at one location. Alright. What he should have done is attack from here and here or here. or bring out the navy and attack our base here. That would have been the correct and tactical way, or strategic way, whatever you want to call it, way of doing it. That was a good move of Yak. So they are quite in a pickle, Yak and Bolt, right now, because they can't get enough supplies up and units as the enemy can. They have spam decks. This is conquest decks. That's why they have so much artillery and so much reservists, because that's what you do in conquest games most of the time. You just push units until you get the area. However, we have superior units most of the time, but they have the amount, so they're gonna win by the amount unless we get artillery. And here is something interesting. You see all these stacks here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Bacans shooting at that area. So that's gonna leave nothing left. Bacans, if you see infantry open with the Bacans, fire at will. And here comes the SK-60B, training fighter for a Swedish Air Force and a ground attack in times of war. Now let's see what it does. That one didn't want to fire, but this one will. Boom, boom. That's like a Nighthawk bomb. So here comes my artillery. It's already dropping. Just oh, it's just ridiculous. And it will continue shooting until I say no. Right now I told him to fire at this area. Just look in the holes. It's still raining down. I mean, what the hell? It's just ridiculous. So my Panzergeiter, I relocated them from here earlier, and they just got to the fight and got napalm, sadly. So he's using his A1A1 to shoot at the Mutsushutsu, but that's not a wise choice, since that Concurse team could take him out, but they don't have the guns. ATGM turned on. I don't know why. That's a bloody stupid thing to do, especially in a position like that. He could fire right down here. But we all make mistakes. So what we should do in this position we are in now is send in more infantry. It's doing a counterattack from this side to take out their supply lane, and possibly try to push up and get that artillery to relieve the pressure on our forces here. We're in, you know, just look how much we have, and we're holding them. We're pretty much holding them off by my Bacans, and I haven't been using them a lot or at this point, and I'm pretty much drained my fob. So it's now time to prioritize targets. And you know, communications fail sometimes. I told them to take this down here, but their things happen so fast in the middle, so they just had to divert forces or whatever happened for them. It just didn't get there. But that's nothing to worry about. So let's give you a quick overlay of the map. As you can see, the enemy has this ridiculous amount of artillery. 1, 2, 3 stacks of 4. 1 stack, 2 stacks here. And then they have the heavy artillery around, 1 there, and 2 here, and 3 here. So it's just artillery, artillery, artillery. So there is a quick involving map and fight. This game was, you know, it was, everything happened fast, you know. It felt like this game took hours for us to play. it was at this point it was like playing against bot. They just sent wave after wave after wave. They didn't smoke. They just napalmed rockets and just pushed in. And the funny thing is, it worked pretty well. Just look at Delta. It's one lab, 2 Humvees, 1 M60 US Marines here. That's holding them off. That's it. No. What I would have done is focus right with the Ondivas right here. I would shoot these ones here to stop the supply line coming in from here. And now you might think, what about these 2 bridges here? That's not the route that units are gonna take unless we send them to this area. They are gonna take this. So right now I'm coming with the AGS Viggen to take out that T-62. And the rounds, yeah, it's lucky it survived. That's one cluster bomb, you just look at it. They increased the spread on it, sadly. So he's Raven now. Bolt is making a mistake. He's overextending that Raven. He should have kept it around here, but mistakes happen. So the enemy is like spamming attack markers apparently. I'm relocating them quite often. And they have cluster artillery as well. They're prioritizing wrong. Those A-10s, not a good choice, but in the heat of the moment you make mistakes. So this guy here has made a critical mistake, which is recon. Now we know they're there. We should have known, but you know, never do that, right? Never fire like that unless you see a CV. Alright? Only do it on artillery. You can have eyes on the artillery, but you wait until it fires. So the enemy thinks, alright, it's just counter artillery. Otherwise they're gonna start searching for your recon unit. And taking out that FOB was not a, very prioritized targets. They have loads more targets they can engage, but yeah, when you have that much artillery, you can do that. Still a very big mistake. So Bolsos is in love with his A1, A2s, by the way. I just want to say that. So I pretty much secure this area right here. I've called out the Lafayette to try to bring in their navy so I can hit them with my Seabusters. And he just lost his recon unit because he became too greedy, and he's instantly removing his CV from that location because they know it's there now. So I moved in some Dragonairs, sheep as infantry, very good as well, to secure that area of operation. And this is where the original recording of this game stopped for some reason, so that's why I'm doing a replay. So the enemy is just using artillery. I just hate it, they were decent players, but it seems like they got so high rank by using a lot of artillery. So as you can see on my points, I have not done a lot. That's not I haven't killed a lot, but that's not my job. My job is to support them. So the enemy is using quite a lot of recon. So we are preparing an assault on Foxtrot now. As you can see, I'm spawning in a lot of Dragonairs. What the plan is, let's see here. This unit here, 3 groups of Bakan, are gonna shoot smoke these here are gonna shoot HE, but we decide we're gonna do the attack now, but these sparrows are gonna get shot up, so we decide not to do it. So the original plan was my Dragonaires would come in after they take the town, and I will take it, and they would just mount it in the barrels again and move to this area here. That was a general idea, but battlefields changes all the time, and you're gonna see why we decided not to do it. So my smoke is coming in. We're waiting for the smoke to build up. And right now, just a couple of seconds ago, we decided, alright, let's call it off. We need to get more units because we've seen all this. So I call off the smoke, got 2 shots on target. Oh, fucking hate when people use a pillar like that. Most of these units around here is just artillery and tanks. So they send in a air fighter to try to get Hornet. We tried to drag him into our AA. He didn't follow it because he knew what we were trying to do. At this point, Bolt and Yak got a bit, what's the word for it? Tunnel vision in middle, so they did not see that. And my eye was also tunnel visioning on their artillery. As you can see, I'm out of ammo, so I was tunnel visioning the artillery and was thinking, should I counter artillery or should I save my ammunition for Foxtrot? And I decided for the later, saving for Foxtrot. So we now know that the enemy is preparing an armored push and an armored defense, as you can see here. But they're doing a critical mistake. They're not reinforcing Foxtrot at all. Here comes my MI, my Dragonaires. I'm gonna smart smoking Foxtrot any second now. The artillery is hitting his Bradleys, which were gonna be the main force. We're keeping an air spirit fighter circling. Smoke is the key to attacking a city or anything. Always smoke if you have the possibility to. So I'm preparing to smoke. I choose to shoot 1 piece here, 1 piece here, and 1 piece there to make a sufficient smoke screen. As you can see, it's 12 rounds a minute. It's amazing. And I'm just pushing forward. I'm not going to go through this road. I'm just going to go over here. Those Dragonaires there are not mounted up, so they're going to be a sitting duck. Coming with my vegan to take care of those tanks. A vegan, that's why it's one of the best HPR fighters. It survived so long during that AA network. I mean, cluster bomber. Coming with a second vegan. That one made it. So let's do this so you can see my unit. Well, that's Yak, sorry. There we go. So this is sheep ass infantry, as I said. That's why I'm standing up to the front. I'm not dismounting. I'm gonna lose far more troops by dismounting. Because then the tanks in this one will have more time to shoot at me. Bolt is standing in his A10 to support me. So soon I'm gonna dismount. And I'm preparing my artillery to fire at this area in a bit. So I've dismounted with my Dragonaires. They have the MLAW, MG3 and G3A2, I believe it is. So Let's see. So I'm immediately surrounding the enemy units. So as you can see, my Dragonaires here, they got dismounted, they died, their APCs died. And yeah, that's why you don't dismount in open areas. You dismount before you get to the town. Like right here. So let's go back to neutral, and here you can see that the enemy now is pretty much thinking, oh, what should I do? Alright, I have a spam deck, I'll send in loads of infantry. Which is not the correct choice. You should send in specialized units to take care of my spam infantry. And you will see why. Moving up my Dragonaires to get shots at multiple areas. And you see they are just dropping like flies. Much faster than it would if I were just using one unit. And they lost another unit. So my fobs are empty, and I use the Swedish helicopter resupply vehicle to supply my back guns. Bradleys are attacking this area to take care of the AA. And now we notice this. Just look at it. Fucking idiots. That's like an A10 stream. Just burp, 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 burp. And here comes the eagles. First we take care of these. Ba-boom. And we are still thinking, what should we use for its A10s? Or should we use Vigans? Or should we use my backguns? But I decided I'm gonna use my backguns for this. So I've split up my forces. It's both an idiotic idea to do and a great idea to do, because they have this amount of rocket artillery. And if they had them grouped up in these two buildings here, they would just be able to mass that entire area with all the artillery pieces and use fire. This way more will survive if they do that. And I still, by this position, I can still shoot from two directions at the enemy. But they can do that as well on that unit right here. So I decide to move them in a bit closer. So I've just emptied a whole magazine of Bacans in this area. That's 14 rounds per artillery piece. So I now have a second group here. I'm gonna reload the first group. They are pretty much, my teammates are starting to get dry on infantry because of the battle around here. So that's why I'm taking the lead. We are pushed up here with riflemen and Bradleys, and we just go nuts on this. And we use Nighthawk. Not ideal, but what the heck. It's a Nighthawk, it will get out. But too late. So we send in an air power, Truders and Prowlers. We keep F-16 and a Vigan circling. That motherfucker got me in the ass. He's using the Prowler as an anti-air shield. And he goes for the CV, I believe. Sadly those BM got away, but what the hell. I went for those Odina there, but they were lucky as a fucking bitch to get out of that. And my Vigan, I tried to call it back several times and it just didn't want to. Finally it did though. So they took out our CV in Juliet, so I can show you that. So he's using his Lobo quite effectively here, putting up a shield from the attack from the left. So the enemy biggest mistake in this match was Foxtrot. They believed artillery would win the game. Alright. They probably thought, alright, when they do that attack, we're gonna use artillery to obliterate them. But did it work? No. All, like 99% of my forces still got into the town, and they had one Conqueror's team and one bejier-and maybe, if I'm in a group at least. Other than that, standing here, that couldn't stop 40, right? 2 stacks of 40, that's just impossible. So, I've got some more reinforcements in. Bolt don't want to move up his... Jack don't want to move up his M60s up here, which is a good decision because of the Moderna. Oh, so sexy. Hot in Sweden. So, let's speed it up. My backhands are firing for effect. Just look at it. Oh, it's just ridiculous. And there comes the rocket artillery. Oh my god. That was not the right time to do it. It's a little too late. A little too late. But they're leading. They are leading. This was an intense game. So I use my AGS Vegan bombing. But yeah, as for some reason we didn't want to bomb, we're gonna bomb those PGs. But it decided to just evac. So he's on Diva, he's counter-artillerying, I believe. Actually, no. So we have a good group of our spirit fighters for engaging that Varehibo. Amram missiles away. Hit. Going for the MiG. And game. So, that's the replay season for you. I can show you the kills if any of us. But conclusion of what really saved us in that game was my backhands and the AGS Vegan and SK60. I can easily say that it saved us, because it probably did that, because if that wave they sent in, those waves, if those didn't get stopped, they would probably have pushed far into our base, and that gave us a good lead. But thanks for watching, and subscribe and comment to say what you think, and sorry for my bad mic, and I hope you like it. See you next time.